In this repair video, we're going to be working on the 2014 MacBook Pro 15-inch that came in yesterday. And the customer said that he took this to another repair shop and he picked it up after 1 year. And he's hoping that we can help him and fix this laptop for him. Right off the bat, I see signs of flux at the ISL chip and signs of flux, you can tell by the glare, signs of flux at the SMC area. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this board. We're going to check and see what was done to the ISL area and the SMC area. If we are able to fix this board, great. If not, then we're just going to give it back to the customer. Anytime there's something that's been tampered with by another shop and we see a lot of flux and we see work that's been done to the board will end up being a rabbit hole and may take hours and hours and hours to figure out what's going on. So right now I only see signs of flux on the ISL chip and on the SMC chip and nothing else. Front of the board looks clean. No signs of flux. And the back I only see flux in 2 areas. That's it. Let's take a look and see what's going on. The chip may not be soldered on properly. That's number one. It looks like the shop attempted to replace the chip. And I see a few missing components. We have a missing component here. We have a missing component here. I'm going to have to look at a donor board to see what components we have missing. Let's go ahead and replace this chip. We do not know if the chip is good or not. So we're going to replace it and solder a new one. Right now, before we continue working on this ISL chip, I think it's a good idea to do a quick visual inspection. I mean, I'm able to tell that work was done to the ISL area and to the SMC area, but why not spend another minute to just quickly go over the board and see if there's anything else wrong with this board. Oh, look at this. We have a missing component here, a ripped component here. And that's why visual inspection is very important. I always mention it. And of course we have the SMC area here, which looks more like a Hiroshima. Let's go ahead and replace the ISL chip, replace the missing components, replace the other missing component, reflow the SMC chip, and try our luck. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, we're gonna call the customer to come and pick up. We have 60 million devices that we need to fix, and we do not want to go into this rabbit hole where it's a never-ending repair. Okay, and that's a brand new ISL chip. We are a supplier for ISL chips. If you are in this same field, you can purchase from our site. We've been out of flux for the past couple of days, but we have a new shipment coming in and it should arrive, I think, on the 21st or on the 22nd, July 21st. Amtech Flux is coming directly from the factory. We are one of the major resellers of Amtech Flux, and we should have the freshest, the absolute freshest flux in the market when the shipment arrives. Get rid of the glare and let's solder that chip. Very nice. Very nice. Let's go ahead and clean up. I have a donor board next to me, and I want to see what components we have missing. We have 2 caps and a resistor. 2 resistors, 2 caps. 2 caps are missing, and a resistor, 2 resistors and 2 caps. So we have 2 missing caps. Two caps, 2 resistors, 2 resistors, 2 caps. You have to make it rhyme so you can memorize it. Alright, and now we should have a missing component right here. We have a missing component, yeah. We have a missing resistor. We're gonna grab it from our donor board. And we're gonna put it on the customer's board. Perfect. And the last thing we're gonna do is reflow this SMC chip. God knows what's under it, but we'll just give it a tiny push, a tiny tap, and see what happens. And we're good. That's all the time I'm gonna spend on this MacBook. If it works, great. If it does not work, then we're gonna call the customer to come and pick up. It's all about how much time you want to spend on one particular device. I'm pretty good at making a decision whether we should continue working on a device or not. If you want to spend 20, 30, 40 hours working on one device, it's not practical when you have a business, and it's not economical. We have a lot of devices that we need to fix, and we just have to keep the ball rolling. We cannot stop at one particular device. If I see light at the end of the tunnel, I'll continue working on it within a time limit. But if I do not see light at the end of the tunnel, then we just deem the repair a no fix. So now the question is, will that board work after we did what we did? One way to find out. Right now I connected the screen LVDS cable, I connected the keyboard, I connected the hard drive, and we cannot connect the fan because the fan connector is ripped off the board. I did not notice that until now. And one thing I noticed also is the touchpad Flux cable has a connection that's different than that on the board. So this MacBook is not really for this board. The shop gave the customer a different MacBook with his board. A different MacBook means the screen may not be compatible with this board. Let's plug power and see what happens. I plug the battery in and we're gonna plug the charging cable. We do see a green light and an orange light. CPU is getting hot and the chime. It chimed. So the MacBook is working. MacBook is working. But like I suspected, no backlight and of course no image. This MacBook is not for this board. Let's try this one more time. I'm gonna reboot by pressing Shift, Control, Option, Power. And we see the charger went green and now orange again. Let's do this one more time. I wanna see? Laptop is chiming, which means the laptop is working. The laptop is fully functional. But right now we do not see a backlight and we do not see an image because the laptop itself is not meant for this motherboard. The screen will not work on this board. Right now what we can do is we can probably connect this laptop to an external monitor and see what happens. The laptop is working. I have an adapter here to connect an HDMI cable. Okay, and look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Laptop is working. Laptop is working. Hey man, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
All right, all right.
I got these two, and I also had a next day error that I couldn't.
What I'm going to do is solder that fan connector for the customer, and our job is done. We did what we had to do. We fixed the board. It's up to the customer. If you want to contact the other shop owner and tell him that the MacBook that he gave him is not his, or if you want to buy another MacBook housing, another MacBook screen, it's up to him. But our job is done. I'm glad that this worked out, and replacing the ISL chip, the missing components, reflowing the SMC chip, solved the problem. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll do something else in the next video.